Hello and welcome to BetWise Academy, your ultimate guide to mastering betting strategies and maximizing your winnings. Today, we're diving into an exciting and potentially profitable roulette strategy known as the dozen and one column D1C strategy, as seen in other videos, which is combined with a pressing technique to enhance your betting experience. If you haven't already, make sure to hit that subscribe button and ring the notification bell so you never miss out on our expert tips and strategies. We're diving into an exciting and potentially profitable roulette strategy known as the dozen and one column D1C strategy, which is combined with a pressing technique to enhance your betting experience. The basic idea is to place bets on both a dozen and a column simultaneously. By covering a dozen, which includes 12 numbers, and a column also consisting of 12 numbers, you significantly increase your chances of hitting a winning number, as well as a small chance of hitting a jackpot number where they overlap, but there's more to it. When a bet wins, we'll press by adding 1 unit to the winning bet, effectively increasing our stake. This is generally different to the standard negative progression system. This is a positive progression system where you bet using the winnings you gain. This means if you initially bet $10 and win, your next bet will be $20 on that same spot. This strategy helps you capitalize on winning streaks and maximize your profits during favorable runs, making it an exciting way to play roulette. Now let's talk about the maths behind this strategy and how and why it works. By placing your bets on one dozen and one column, you're covering a significant portion of the roulette table. Each dozen covers 12 numbers, and each column also covers 12 numbers. By strategically choosing which dozen and column to bet on, you can cover 24 out of the 37 possible outcomes in European roulette, or 38 in American roulette, giving you a better chance of hitting a winning number. This means you have a 43% board coverage to win 1 unit. You also have a small chance, around 11%, to hit a jackpot number which will win you 4 units. So that gives you a total board coverage of 54% chance of winning something. The D1C strategy aims to balance the risk and reward by not putting all your bets in one area. By diversifying your bets across a dozen and a column, you spread your risk, which can help manage your bankroll more effectively. This approach can lead to more consistent wins over time, even if the payouts are not as high as single-number bets. When combined with a progressive betting system such as increasing your bet by 1 unit after each win, the D1C strategy can help you capitalize on winning streaks. This method, known as pressing, allows you to maximize your profits during favorable runs and use your winnings, while maintaining control over your losses during less fortunate periods. Like any betting strategy, the D1C strategy combined with pressing has its advantages and drawbacks. Understanding these can help you make more informed decisions at the table. Advantages: increased coverage. By betting on a dozen and a column, you cover 24 out of 37 numbers on a European roulette wheel, giving you a high probability of winning. This broad coverage can be particularly appealing to those who prefer a more conservative approach. Profit maximization. Pressing by 1 unit when you win allows you to capitalize on hot streaks and potentially increase your profits quickly. This method can be especially rewarding during a lucky streak, turning small wins into significant gains. Flexibility. You can adjust the starting bet size according to your bankroll, making this strategy adaptable for both low and high rollers. This flexibility ensures that players of all levels can participate without feeling overextended. Drawbacks. Risk of losses. While pressing can increase your winnings, it can also lead to higher losses if you hit a losing streak. This risk is something every player must consider before adopting this strategy. Complexity. Keeping track of pressing bets and managing your bankroll requires discipline and careful attention. Without proper management, the strategy can become overwhelming and lead to mistakes that could be costly. Slow progression. Since this strategy often involves pressing bets by 1 unit upon a win, the progression in winnings can be slow. This might not appeal to players looking for quick gains, or those who prefer a more aggressive betting style. House edge. Like all roulette strategies, the D1C strategy cannot overcome the inherent house edge in roulette. Over the long term, the house edge will ensure that the casino remains profitable, and no betting strategy can change this fundamental fact. Let's take a look at a real gameplay to see the D1C strategy in action. Some guidelines to go through first. 1. We are playing on a 0-0 table. 2. We limited our gameplay session to 10 minutes, and stopped regardless of position. 3. With a starting balance of $1,000, we decided to give ourselves 10 shots. Our starting bets were $100, 50 on each dozen and column per spin. This was to ensure we had enough compared to our bankroll to take a few losses. 4. Every time we won, we up each dozen by $25, so our bets went from 100, then 150, then 200, etc. 5. We have a graph on the bottom left-hand side which shows the balance blue against the bet amount, orange. Now let's talk about the game itself. To be very honest, we had a shocking start of the session. We basically lost 4 in a row, which gave out balance a good smack. We did end up dipping down to $600, almost 40% down in the first 7 spins before we actually began to win. From here we finally saw some wins come through which picked us up back to an $800 balance. But that was not the end of the bad spell. We continued to lose more than win for the next 10 spins, dipping to a scary balance of just under $400. Funny enough, we technically lost 9 spins. One more and we would have called it quits. Either way, at this point is where our luck turned. Starting from a balance of 380, we ended up winning 7 in a row, and since we are using a progressive betting, it meant each win was growing our balance faster. With these 7 spins, we ended up with a balance of around $1,500. This against our starting balance of $1,000, we would have said this would be great to walk away. We continued, and ultimately lost the next hand, which was our 10th loss. Once again, this would normally be a trigger to walk away. From this point, we had another short positive streak which maxed our balance out at a healthy $1,700. From here, we again faced more losses, then wins over the next 11 or so spins, which brought our balance crashing down to where we started. As Lady Luck would have it, we would have another winning streak occur here, which gave us another 5 wins in a row, and bring our balance back up to over 1,700. We were almost at the end of our time limit, so we continued on for another 4 spins, which unfortunately lost. This meant we ultimately finished the 10-minute session with 55 spins and a balance of 1,400, a decent 40% gain for the time spent. After running with this strategy a few times, we have collected some essential tips or improvements to get the most out of the D1C strategy. Set an upper target. This strategy is best suited for short sessions and walking away after a reasonable win streak. So we would suggest setting a reasonable upper target. Something like 50% of your bankroll would be reasonable. Adapt to the table. If you notice a pattern or trend at the table, don't be afraid to adjust your bets accordingly. Flexibility is key to maximizing your chances. Manage your bankroll. Determine how many shots or losses you want to face compared to your starting balance. Something like 10% of your bankroll as your starting point is reasonable. Know when to walk. As with all roulette strategies, knowing when to walk is key. Alright, let's recap everything we've covered about the D1C roulette strategy, combined with pressing by 1 unit on wins. This strategy is all about leveraging the high coverage of bets and maximizing gains by increasing the bet size after each win. Here's a quick rundown of the key points. We delved into the D1C strategy. This involves placing bets any of the dozen and any column, covering 20 numbers on the roulette table. The strategy aims to give you better coverage compared to single number bets, increasing your chances of winning more frequently. We also discussed pressing by 1 unit after you win, so it's a progressive betting system. This method helps capitalize on winning streaks, potentially boosting your profits significantly over time. Then, we weighed the pros and cons of this strategy. On the plus side, the D1C strategy offers high coverage and frequent wins. However, the cons include slow progression, mainly because you're winning 1 or 3 units at most. We also showed you real gameplay footage of the D1C strategy in action. This demonstrated how the strategy works in a live setting, highlighting both the potential wins and the risks involved. Additionally, we provided tips to improve the strategy. These include setting a win-loss limit to manage your bankroll, adjusting your bet size based on your comfort level, and staying disciplined to avoid emotional decisions. Thank you for watching today's video on the D1C roulette strategy with pressing. If you found this video helpful, please give it a thumbs up, share it with your friends, and don't forget to subscribe to BetWise Academy for more expert betting tips and strategies. Until next time, may the odds be ever in your favor.